My name is Jost von Marburg. I serve the Emperor as an Inquisitor of the Ordo Xenos, devoted to the destruction of those species who oppose the rightful domination of mankind over the galaxy. To that end, I have spent decades of my life studying one of the most elusive and mysterious space hulks. The Forsaken Doom. A name spoken in terror by starship crews. The shadow in the night. A myth. A horror, and all too real. Drifting randomly in and out of the warp for millennia, this gargantuan agglomeration of wrecks has been the grave of countless space marines. Ultimately, each chapter's defeat was lost to the ages and forgotten, leaving the Imperium in ignorance. For the Forsaken Doom is the lair of grave perils. The most dangerous of them, the Genestealers that swarm and multiply in grotesque profusion. The vanguard of the Tyranid threat, infesting ships and planets, spreading like an insidious plague. These creatures are merciless, ravenous monsters. They form a collective body of highly evolved intelligence, driven by a common will for the extermination of all life unlike them. Though some of its parts are far more ancient, the first contemporary records of the Forsaken Doom date back to the beginning of the 41st millennium, when a party of Ultramarines boarded the Great Hulk on a mission of purification. What fate awaited them there has never been revealed. Until now. The brood endured, and its children feasted on the flesh of the dead. The rigid doctrinal Ultramarines did not win the day. The secretive Dark Angels, forever moving in shadow, could not best the Xenos in their lair. And the fearsome Space Wolves finally met their match in the bowels of the Forsaken Doom. The proud warriors of the Imperium have fought and won countless battles, but on board this blighted derelict, the rules of war are changed. To defeat Genestealers requires not only a zealous and righteous adversary, but also a cunning one, with a wider knowledge of the Tyranid threat. These deaths and defeats might have remained forgotten if it were not for the Ordo Xenos. Across the years, I was able to gather the pieces of the puzzle and prepare. All that I required was a new brand of undaunted heroes that I could guide to triumph. And so, like the quiescent monsters out in the darkness, I watched and waited. The Imperium of Man approaches its darkest hour. Its defenders lie scattered, spread thin across the darkness. Constant assaults bombard us from all corners of the galaxy. Wars led by the insidious alien Xenos. Limping home from one such brutal confrontation, the great battle barge Blood Crusader is waylaid by a panicked distress call from the Forge World planet of Gorgonum. A colossal space hulk has emerged from the heart of a warp storm and lies on a collision course with the Forge World. This monstrous conglomeration of wrecked starships adrift in the void for eons. The Great Derelict is a mass of secrets and dangers, and in their vast echoing chambers lurk swarms of deadly creatures, the worst of which are the Genestealers. Fanged, six-limbed, unrelenting and savage, They exist only to consume all life and to spread across the stars like a virus. A single squad of the Emperor's finest space marines is all that stands between this terrible threat and billions of human lives. The noble brothers of the Blood Angels go to meet their fate in the dark recesses of the Space Hulk. We have our victory. Costly and arduous, but victory nonetheless. The Forge World's safety is assured. Its manufactories will continue to feed the Imperium's righteous war machine. The Space Hulk is no more. Torn apart by fire, the Forsaken Doom broke into 1,000,000 pieces. Debris was consumed in the upper atmosphere of Gorgonum, purifying the Xenos threat with cleansing fire. However, with the prodigious burst of energy came a new, brief warp storm which swallowed the largest pieces of the wreckage. Each has been cast out to become the malignant seed of another Space Hulk. And inside, lying dormant, the lingering taint of the Genestealers awaits, poised to infest everything that crosses their path. Slowly, they will grow, capturing derelicts and asteroids in the depths of the void. In time, it will only make things worse. But time is a much-needed commodity. Some say it may be the end of it, but not today. Not as long as the Holy Inquisition holds its vigil. Not as long as the forges of the Adeptus Mechanicus continue to burn. Not as long as a single Blood Angel lives. The sacred seal of the Emperor of Mankind was extracted from its abhorrent sarcophagus and returned to Holy Terra where it belongs. Acting above and beyond the call of duty, triumphing where other chapters had failed, the Blood Angels recovered much more than a precious relic. They brought a moment of hope. A small measure of illumination to the shadow of despair that shrouds the galaxy. Is it, as some suggest, an omen of greater wonders to come? Or a harbinger that the end is nigh? Only time will tell. For the Order Xenos, capturing specimens of the biodivergent Genestealers is an invaluable boon. The greatest minds of the Inquisition and the Magos Biologis will study the arch-enemy in detail, hoping to unveil new flaws in this terrible species. As thousands of worlds are under threat of tyrannid infestation, any advantage we can gain will tip the balance between life and death for billions.